Hi there, it's Nicole for the Simon Says Stamp, the Color of Fun blog hop, and today I have a card featuring lots of the new inks as well as a new stamp set and some dies from the Color of Fun release. To start, I stamped a whole bunch of the images from the cone building stamp set on some smooth white cardstock using some of the new inks. I ended up not using all of the shapes that I'm showing here, but I used a good majority of them. I kind of changed my mind halfway through. I originally thought I would do the cone with several scoops of ice cream on the top, and I ended up stamping the dish instead a little bit later in the video. I am using the Duckling Yellow ink as well as the Melon Sun-Kissed Rosy Cheeks and the Spring Rain ink. Right now I'm using a lot of the peaches and pink and yellow inks to create those little ice cream scoops there. There is a coordinating ice cream die set that works perfectly with the images from the cone building stamp set, and I'm going to run those through the Sizzix Big Shot to cut those out so that I can build my ice cream dish filled with scoops of ice cream. Lots of fun images that you can use in lots of different configurations to make some fun sweet treats. Now this is kind of where I decided to change direction. I also have a couple of those little lemon and orange slices that I have stamped and die cut, and I had laid out the die kind of figuring out where I wanted to place that image as well as a couple of the greeting stamps. Unfortunately, when I pulled the ice cream dish stamp off of my stamp sheet, it stuck to the greeting underneath it and it tore that little notch out of the bottom. So I had to really work to make that little, or kind of squish those together to make that work. And I ended up, I don't think it's hardly noticeable there on that second stamped image. And I stamped that with that Spring Rain Aqua ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp a couple more scoops of ice cream now and stamp those coordinating sprinkles on those scoops, and then die cut all of those images so that I can build that bowl full of ice cream. I stuck to using the Rosy Cheeks, Sun-Kissed, and Melon inks mostly for my scoops of ice cream here. I liked how those colors kind of went together, and then I made the ice cream dish itself that bold aqua color in the Spring Rain. Once I have all of those stamped, I am again going to take the coordinating dies, the ice cream dies from the Color of Fun release, place those over the images, and then die cut those using the Sizzix Big Shot. After I got the images die cut, I applied a layer of the Wink of Stella clear glitter pen to the dish as well as the ice cream scoops, and then over the dish and then the little seed areas on the lemon and orange, I applied a layer of glossy accents and then set that aside to dry. I do not have the best patience ever, and I did get my hand into the glossy accents on the dish, so I actually had to apply another layer to the dish and wait even longer for it to dry. If there are air bubbles, you can always take something like a straight pin and try to pop those and get rid of them. While the glossy accents was drying on all of those stamped images, I'm going to apply the Festive Chevron stencil over my white card base. And this is from a release a few releases back from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm applying a layer of white embossing paste over the entire front of my card base. This is actually on the very card base. I didn't want to add another layer of paper. This is going to be a fairly thin layer. I'm spreading it really thin. I'm trying my best to get it nice and smooth. Sometimes it's kind of fun to give it even more texture. For this card, I wanted it to be really nice and smooth and very, very thin. Once I have that all applied, I can go ahead and peel up my stencil. You're going to want to wash that off immediately. Otherwise, it's very, very hard to get off, and then I'll set that aside to dry. Once it's very dry, I would say maybe 30 minutes or so, you can take your scissors, and I ran them along all four edges to get rid of any of those little notches that maybe were sticking out there. I've also die cut a stitched rectangle using the Simon Says Stamp Stitched Rectangles die collection. And I'm going to stamp two of the greetings from the cone building stamp set one below where the ice cream dish is going to sit, and then one up above that kind of is a rounded edge that works perfectly with these round shapes. And I'm using the Simon Says Stamp black ink for both of those. I chose to add the embossing paste background because I felt like the white on white, I wanted it to be white on white, but it needed just a little something, and I liked that added texture that the stencil and embossing paste adds to the design. Here's that Wink of Stella clear glitter pen, adding a little bit of that to those ice cream scoops. Gives them a little subtle bit of sparkle. And I've glued the lemon and orange slices in place there next to the dish as well. Now I went back and stamped a heart using the Rosy Cheeks ink, and then I'm going to glue it right there where it says Oh Happy Day, applying a little more glossy accents where I got my hand into the glossy accents. This is actually where I messed it up a little bit. I wasn't patient enough to let it dry all the way. Applying the Wink of Stella to the die cut and stamped heart. And I'll also apply a layer of glossy accents to the heart as well. Let that all dry really, really well, and then I will secure the rectangle to my card base, and my card is all finished. Thanks for watching this video showcasing stamps, dies, and inks from the new Simon Says Stamp The Color of Fun release. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.